Hello, Buttercups. I'm sorry if I have this little connector thing, to turn it on, and it's the batteries are dead on it, so I have to like manually reach my hand up to turn it on, and I know that's pretty redneck, but we're just gonna go with it. So hello. I realize it's been a hot minute since I've been here, but life is testy. So, but I wanted to do a flip through of this journal that I finished. It took me forever to finish it, but it's done. And I got my drink. Today we have a little bourbon in our tea because A, I'm out of rum, and B, why not? It's after 2 o'clock and I don't have anywhere to go. So, let's have a sip and carry on. Okay, this little book, I have it with a gorgeous, I love a good thick elastic band. So this yellow elastic band I have it wrapped in. And this book I wanted to make a commonplace book because I have lots of magazines that I wanted to cut up and get rid of and keep the stuff that I wanted. I had this whole vision of having volumes of them, and they were going to be called Common and Cunning. But this sort of has been a fail, mostly because I didn't get as much stuff in it that I wanted to, of what I envisioned it to be. But it turned into something different, so I think I'll have to get a bigger book or something just to paste all the useful stuff that I want to keep out of magazines in. Because I get obsessed with cutting up poems, and then I just go off the rails. So yeah, now the first page is probably my least favorite page. I love this background paper. I don't know if you can see this. I hope it's really clear or it's close enough, because I was gonna do this, and then I didn't know if it would focus. I was gonna put the book on a cake stand and then sit on one of the bar chairs in the kitchen, but that would be ridiculous. So we're just gonna go with this, and hopefully you can see. So yeah, I love this image of a magazine, of this paper, kind of like this paper that looks like wallpaper. I love this little saying, when will you be home? But, Jesus, now the dogs are playing with their squeaky. But this is Tim Holtz, and Tim Holtz and I really don't get along. We're not, I don't really dig him, but I had them, I put them in, and now I might cover it up. Or I might keep them just to remind me that I don't like this page. I don't know. So that's that page. This page is, I love this image from a magazine, and I cut this out. One of us is lying. And it says down here, she needed a desk where she could spread. I just love these two people. Over here, this is a vintage library card, and just a flip. And under here, there's a little paragraph that I cut out of a book that I really liked. I'm not going to read everything, but this is about a man on a roof throwing pieces of goat meat to a cat, and it's annoying his friend. I really like it. It's from a Timothy Finley book, which I really like. So that is that. On to the next page, which is very normal, I think. It just has just pictures. This is a flip up where there's more illustrations. And then this flips out, look at that, where there's some more groovy people inside. My journal skills are very primitive, let's just call them that. Primitive style. So yeah, that's that page. I like. This is a bit of gold washi paper that I got from where you'll see later on in the thing, but I like that paper. This page is very busy. My friend Susan told me that this page is busy, and I have to agree. I love to cut things out of, as I said, out of poems, and really terrible poems, not like nice poems. I like very, just bad poems. So it just says, I was raised in the age of strenuousness. I lived in rooming houses. I mean, why do people write stuff like that? Anyway, and this is a magazine image, the romance of sorting your drawers. This is Tim Holtz. And this is also Tim Holtz. And this is, I think, the page where Tim and I broke up for good. I was like, no, can't do it. I can't continue with you, Tim. So, yes, Tim and I are no more. This page is very normal looking, but I know stuff about it that, you don't know. But I'll tell you. Even though it's not nice, but I'll tell you. Anyway, this is pretty. I love this pretty vintage this paper. This is Nancy Luce. Now, I have a book called The World's Worst Poems, and I love it. I could have 100 copies. I would hand them out to everybody and say, read this. I love The World's Worst Poems. No Robert Frost for me, I'm telling you. Just the really wacky poems for me. So this is Nancy Luce, real person. She was featured in the World's Worst Poem book, so you have some idea of her literary genius. It says here, Nancy Luce lived on a farm in Martha's Vineyard, was certainly fond of chickens, and published a book of verse and advice called Poor Little Hens. This is not Nancy. I just wanted to give Nancy a face. I wanted to read this and then say, yeah, you're Nancy. This is just a vintage image off the internet. I didn't include Nancy's poems in here because they were so terrible. This Poor Little Hens and advice, her poems were about children who had died tragically, and then advice, sort of like scolding them how they could have not died. It was terrible, 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 terrible. And I was like, well, apparently the bar was set really low in the 1800s of having your own poetry book published. So that's Nancy. We're not going to talk about her anymore. This page is okay. This is a reproduction of a vintage, postcard. And under here, this does crack me up. I'm going to read you this. But this was in a magazine, and these are actual letters written to people who have visited national parks. And in most of the cases have stolen something from the national park, which, and this is in the United States, but in Canada too, we're not technically allowed to take anything from a national park. So you can't take, all of the rocks and stones that my children have hauled home from the mountains are technically, it's illegal. Anything. So stones on a beach at a national park, stuff like that. So all of us have probably stolen something from a national park. Or if you're one of my friends, you probably have. So anyway, this is a letter that was written to people who had stolen something from a national park and were returning it. And it said, to whom it may concern, while on vacation this summer, we toured through the beautiful Petrified Forest National Park. Upon leaving, my husband took these pieces enclosed with him as souvenirs. Now, after all the bad luck we've had, I'm returning them to where they belong. Upon returning home, we first found out that my stepmother had kidney failure. Then our dog died, our central air conditioning went out, and our freezer. I had a really close call in having a bad auto accident. Our truck broke down, needing major repairs. Our cat was killed. And last night, close by our home, a gas well blew out, a cap, causing us to be evacuated from our home for a while. So please take these pieces back before we have any more bad luck and accept our deepest apology. Thanks. No name, please. This is just great. I love stuff like that. So that's that page. This is okay. I like these images. I really like this is cut out from a poem again. People say the most obscure things. It says, the objects I chose were designed to hold something, but I didn't fill them out. And I have this picture of, I found this picture of these chairs, which I was like, oh, that is perfect. So now the dogs are fighting. Can you believe it? I'll speak to them in a moment. This page looks really, really normal. Ladies, stop, be kind. It's very orangey. It's very, and there's a little poem here, or a little thing from a magazine that says, idleness. Can you hear them? The flap of a butterfly, the unfolding wing of a resting wren, the sigh of an exhausted garden ghost, a poem trapped in an empty fountain pen. So that's all very sweet. But then this is a flip out, and it's an envelope, and I found this little gem in a poem, and I was like, I couldn't find anything to like, at the moment, I couldn't find anything to make a page out of. I couldn't find any images or whatever, but I wanted to keep it. I didn't want to lose it. And it says, she left burning cigarettes and steak knives lying around in the soft folds of my dad's nervous system. This is poetry, people, and this wasn't even in the World's Worst Poem book. This was in another poetry book. And I'm like, what are people smoking when they're writing their poems? But I'm happy they write them, because God bless them. It gives me something to ponder. So yeah, so I'm keeping that in there for right now. Maybe I'll take it out and use it in the next journal. I don't know. But right now it's there. This page is quite busy. It's all about Iceland. For some reason I found a lot of Iceland stuff, and I thought that she looked like she could live in Iceland. Do you think I'm ready? She stares at the ocean, her shoulders tense, her hands planted. And I think that could be me. Although I don't wear a cap, but maybe. But she looks ready to go to sea, I think. So that's that. This page is, I really like this page. It's probably my favorite, maybe. This is vintage pattern tissue. And again, this is the actual title of a poem. Not in the World's Worst Poetry book either. She talks to pictures at an exhibition because the curator won't allow notes. And that's just, in my head, when I hear that, I get a vision of who she is and whatever. And I like the colors on this page. And it says here, this is from a different book. It said she wore the same outfit 2 days in a row. The men came and took her away. Oh, that's grand. I can picture a whole story from that. Well, from just this title. This page is quite normal. Everything is something to us, said Mary the Witty Drunk. And yeah, these are all magazine images. This is Cavallini and Company wrapping paper, which is really pretty. This page is, again, Jesus, I'm having lots of normal looking pages here. Snippets at the end of the day. This is a little vintage playing card. These are song lyrics from Florence and the Machine, because I love me some Florence. I'm not scared to jump. I'm not scared to fall. Hattie! Hush! Okay. I might have to leave the table, but I'm not going to shut it off. Okay. Hold on. Good Lord. A big, like a border collie went down the street. It's got them all hyped up. So, yes, back to where we were after my children had a temper tantrum. I'm not scared to jump. I'm not scared to fall. If there was nowhere to land, I wouldn't be scared at all. I know, I feel, because, and the rest of the lyrics, I love Florence's lyrics. So, to me, they're poetry. So, yeah. This is This is a lovely page, I think. It's like sad. This is the page that sort of makes me a bit sad, but only not sad because this is from a magazine, and it's this little poem or this little thing reminds me of the farm and the prairie and being in Alberta, and so it makes me a little homesick maybe. It says field. Sometimes the fields seem to move like the surface of warm water. Distant stacks smoke, barley and rye. Everything is biscuit and dust. The plow turns, the soil is thick and dark as night. The wheat flour in my hand is white. Oh, that's just so lovely and stark and yummy. So yeah, that's the page. This page is all very busy and it makes me happy because I ordered things from the Paper Geisha online on Etsy. Emily Pencil's channel, she has the Paper Geisha, and she also has her illustrations in a different Etsy shop. And so I love her stuff, so I made an order, and this is the stuff, some of the stuff from the order. This was on the package, like the part of the packaging address. This is the stamp. This envelope held her business card. These were little stickers that I bought, little stamp stickers. I bought washi paper. This was the little image that was on the outside of the envelope. So this was washi paper, or washi tape that was on that packaging. So this is some of the washi paper cut up, and this was a postcard that I bought that was in the packet. And then underneath is just some paper and the little note. Yeah, this page makes me really happy because I love buying her stuff and I like playing with it. So yeah, that's our page. This page, this lady, this picture, I love it. I have carried it around with me as a digital file for like 10 years, and I print it off. I don't know, when I'm feeling a little bit low or whatever, then I print her off because she is just everything I want to be. She's just so confident. And I think I should print her off big and put her on my wall all the time. So as an inspiration. So that's her. This is really cute studio calico, I think, cow paper. This is a cow with a quilt on. Very pretty. And in here, these are just little famous women that were in a magazine, so I just cut them out and put them in here. So because they're inspiring just like her, like Amelia Earhart and Ella Fitzgerald. So yeah, and this paper is very pretty. So yeah, that's that page. And I think there is, this page. This page, I know you can't tell, but it's from a magazine. It's from Uppercase magazine, I think. And these little words that are all on this page, I'm gonna do that thing. I don't know if it's gonna focus, but okay. They're all embroidered on here. So these words are all embroidered on this in the magazine image, and it's so cool. And this is just from 2 different poems. She dreamed about the days when she could be a bag lady, but for today, another talk with myself in which I agree with everything I say. And this is from a magazine. All of this is from magazines. I love this image. I love this green, and I love this power of negative thinking. Is there anything more beautiful? Yes. So, and then I think we're at the last page. And yeah, this is the last page. It's just a little thing from again, a poem. The man in the kitchen window sees himself clearly. On the counter, a bottle, a kettle plugged in. The water not hot enough for a winter night. Not hot enough till the steam erases him completely from sight. yeah, that's the end. That's my little journal. I wish that I had my December daily to show you, but my December daily, Jesus, the dogs are just driving me insane, but I can't do anything about them. Girls. But my December daily is in a bag beside the couch. It's been abandoned like a dropped tortilla chip that you're too tired to bend over to get. I don't know. It just wasn't inspiring me. But who knows? Maybe between Christmas and New Year's I'll be inspired and I'll just knock it out. So, yeah. So, that's all for today. Thanks for sticking around, and over and out.